Hey everyone, welcome back to Geek Level Asian Tech. Thanks for hanging out. After unboxing my GK61XS, I wasn't satisfied with how it felt or how it sounded, so I went ahead and modded it pretty much right away. So this video is basically the process of what I did to make it sound and feel a little better. Before we dive in, make sure you like this video and hit the subscribe button to help support the channel and the algorithm. So right off the bat, this keyboard is not very complicated. Came stock with Gateron Reds. I talked a little bit about this in the unboxing video, but the switches that are lined up on the top and bottom rows are very hard to get to. The space is so narrow, so for the top row, I use the switch puller on the bottom tab, and I use the tweezers on the top tab in order to remove them. For the bottom row switches, I'm able to use the switch puller that it comes with, but it is definitely not simple. So this part took a little while. The stock Gateron Reds feel pretty decent to begin with, but they felt a little scratchy, a little noisy, so I lubed them up with some Krytox 205, using 105 on my springs, bag lubing them, and some films to keep them stable. This made a pretty obvious difference before I even put the keyboard back together, so I knew it was going to sound at least a little better. So now, the stabilizers on this keyboard were by far the worst part of the keyboard out of the box. I actually spent the time lubing and modding them thinking that that would make a difference, but it absolutely did not. They still sounded bad, they still felt terrible, big waste of time. I luckily had ordered some authentic cherry stabs from Zeal PC, which after clipping, lubing them with Permatex, and using the upgrade keyboard stab pads, they ended up sounding and feeling incredible, like typing on a gentle cloud. Oh, one thing to note, the Bluetooth on this keyboard after using it for a little while is absolute trash. Compared to my Dear God Fusion, it's like comparing the connectivity of AirPods to your iPhone versus buying those fake ones that you can get in the dollar store. It's laggy most of the time, so I'll type a bunch of stuff, it won't show up on the screen, and then it shows up later, which for typing is extremely frustrating, and for gaming it's just completely unusable. So I gotta say, this is my first linear experience, and I think I'm gonna stick to tactile and clicky. I find that I'm not exactly as accurate with linears, especially if the Bluetooth connection is not working very well. But I am glad that I bought this because it's become my test keyboard. It's relatively inexpensive. I don't really mind if, I hope I don't break it, but if I happen to mess something up, I don't really mind as much. So it's something that I can experiment on as I'm building and I'm learning, because again, I'm new. And so now here's the sound test.